Hello everyone, this is Diane. I'm going to be working on a Tag Tuesday video today. And before I forget, because I have been forgetting, I link Sherry Brown's channel in my description, but I keep forgetting to say in my video that she is the host of the hashtag Tag Tuesday. And if you go to her videos, I will link her channel below. If you go to her channel and find her Tag Tuesday videos, then you will find links to all the other participants of Tag Tuesday and see all of the tag projects that people have been making. So I apologize for forgetting to mention her by name, but I have been linking her channel below. So thanks, Sherry, for hosting Tag Tuesday. I'm going to be working on my flea market journals finally this week. So today we're going to work on some tags to go in the flea market journals. But before I get started, I want to say hello and thank you to some of my viewers, Madeline, Linnea, and Donnie. Thank you very, very much for watching my channel so faithfully and for commenting on my videos. I truly appreciate it. All right, so the other day I saw a video by Heather from, I just knew it. It's something XO. Heather from something XO. I can't remember. But she did collages. She made tags and cards with collages. And she used all digitals to, like, she had digital receipts that were really pretty in different colors, and embellished them with digitals, which is great. I would love to do that. I have digitals that I could do that with, but I wanted to use real vintage ephemera as much as I can in these flea market journals. So I'm going to use real vintage items for my collages. So as you can see, I'm just cutting apart some file folders as I talk. I get file folders at the flea market, so we can start with that. And I also get lots of ledgers and logbooks at the flea market. So I just got pages that are already written on. I thought they would be fun to begin our collages. So I'll probably do 2 of these in this session. I'll just start with 1, and I'm just going to take my pieces of ledger. I want them to be a little bit smaller, so I'll just tear them into pieces, and that way when I cut them into tags they'll have multiple pieces of different styles of ledger. I want to use my glue stick. So I'm going to grab this newsprint paper and use that for my gluing surface. And I'll have to change it frequently, I think. Pretty sure I got the newsprint at the flea market. Either that or Salvation Army. Okay, I think we're ready to start gluing. And then once I get that surface covered with a bunch of fun ledgers, we'll have fun with other elements to add on top. Penny and Rose XO, I think, is what the name of that shop of her channel is. Penny and Rose XO. didn't make any prototypes ahead of this, which I was hoping to be able to do, but my morning was fuller than I expected. And now it is after 1. No, it's 2 o'clock. How did that happen? It's 2 o'clock. So it's about time I just get going on this. Whoops, pardon me. I went to the flea market this morning. The video would have been on my channel already, probably yesterday from when you're seeing this. It was so hot, and I went at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's just a blistering day, and it's not even, you know, it's not like 100 degrees, but it is just the sun beating down, and it's just super hot. And I don't handle it well. I get headaches from it. So I had to take a break. My son needed help with his errands because he didn't have a car available to him. So I went to the flea market, and then I went and picked him up, and we did the rest of our errands, the bank and the groceries and the post office and all that stuff. And man, by the time I got home, I was beat. So I took a break and I ate my lunch, and now I'm ready to go. So that's why my morning was fuller than I expected it to be, because it takes longer to run 2 people's errands. That's okay. He helps me out when I need it. And I just need a little, I don't know if I'll need that little piece covered, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and cover it. Some of this writing is from the 1800s. This piece and this piece and this one down here are from the 1800s. I'm not sure how old this one is. Can't remember. I don't think it's that old. Okay, so that one is covered. I'm just going to let that dry a little bit before I cut it up. So I'm going to move on to this piece, so bear with me. You could see that it didn't take me long to do that one, so it won't take me long to do this one either. And then we can start with the fun. Oh, I can glue on some other stuff on there and let that dry too. Hang on. I'll glue this down, and then we'll go back to that first piece and see what the next step is. Okay. She used masking tape that she distressed with some vintage ink. She takes her roll and just rubs ink around the edges. But I happen to have vintage masking tape. See how warped it is? And it's not sticky at all. But this will give me a good excuse for using some of it. I have used some, but I'll just glue some down. And I don't need to age it because it is aged. I could ink around the edges, but I mean, it's already aged, so I am not going to worry about how it looks. I know it's aged. And I figured I could use some of my old Scotch tape too. This bottle is leaking. Not leaking, but volcanoing. Gotta work a little extra to get that warped tape to lay down flat. It's like when my kids were little, I couldn't make them lay down. You know, it's time for bed. Lay down. That's a wide piece of Scotch tape. Cellophane tape. Look at that bubbling. Why are you doing that? I will go over this with my sewing machine too, after I cut it into pieces probably. So this tape is not sticky, and the glue that I used will dry, so I will be able to sew that down. Now I want to add a little extra stuff that she didn't do. And then after I cut it, I can embellish with whatever pieces of vintage ephemera that I want to add. I have tickets, and I have Denison labels and medicine labels, pharmacy labels, and the little seals like the Denison and Eureka seals. Got lots of little things I can use. But I can also add some of my stamps, my trading stamps. So my S&H green stamps. These are blue ones, but I could add pieces of that here and there, and that could get cut up too. Are there green ones in here? Yes. If you didn't see this, this is a trading stamp saver that I found at the flea market. So I store some of my trading stamps and the booklets in here. Sorry. It's kind of fun. So it's a little decorative element in here, but also useful. It's getting hot in here. But I don't want to turn my fan on because it blows into the microphone of my camera. So hopefully the air conditioning will turn on soon. It's difficult having a fan in a craft room because it wants to blow your papers around. I think I turned my air conditioner off. I better go check that. I'll be right back because I need it. I was up to 81. Close my craft room door to reduce the sound of the air conditioner because that's pretty loud, but we'll get some air blowing in here. Sorry about that. So it'll be fun to see how these pieces get chopped up. And I can always add more if I want to, but like I said, I have other ephemera to add also. Okay, so that's the base. It's got all the ledger and the tape and the stamps. So now I'm going to let that dry. And we'll continue with this one. This is from a science lab book, Observations and Computations. I have these long strips that came out of a old scrapbook. It was an old ledger from the 1800s, and someone covered up the writing with newspaper clippings, so they were using it as a scrapbook. But some of the pieces I was able to salvage. Some of the glued on stuff came right off, and some of it was left exposed, so I saved all of the bits of that 1800s ledger that I could. So those strips are handy for filling in a long narrow space. This is from 1919. And I believe it was used in a grocery store. It has lists of goods and their prices. Maybe it was credit accounts. Or maybe it was someone's just, this is what I bought at the store this week. This is how I'm accounting for my money. Here's another piece of this. This is a dairy driver's, dairy delivery person's account book. And it's got red and green lines on the ledger, so that makes it fun. Now I do have the pretty vintage receipt pieces in pretty colors like pink and blue and yellow, in addition to white, that Heather was using, but she was using digitals, and of course I have digitals in those colors, and I have made digitals with mine, but like I said, I wanted to use genuine, and I don't want to use those precious receipts. I have a lot of ledger pages with writing on them, so I would rather use these than my receipts. This is the same, from the same book that's down here, but they will be cut into different pieces. I think 2 more pieces will do this. I hope you're hanging in there with me. I hope you're gluing or crafting with me. Last Tuesday I did the tiny tags with my Kathy Holden little bits of stamps. That's what I did, stamps. Kathy Holden stamps. But I can use those tiny tags in my flea market journal also, even though those pieces aren't genuine vintage ephemera. They would still be cute. So far we're just gluing stuff, and it doesn't really look like tags, and it's Tag Tuesday. We are creating the bases for the tags. Now I am going to not glue the tapes and the stamps down yet, because I want to move on back to this. I think it's dry enough to cut now. I've got a blob of glue here. I'm going to fold that paper down and cover it so I don't accidentally get into it. First I'm going to just trim the edges so they're even, because some of the paper is hanging off. Guess I'll just use my scissors for that, because I don't think that trimmed it very evenly, because there was a piece of paper hanging off the bottom, so it made the folder not sit in there quite straight. Some of these pieces might end up being journaling cards or pockets. So the part with the notch here, that might end up being a pocket. That's okay, we're doing all of the collaging at once. Much more efficient. Alright, now I think what she did, or somebody did that I saw recently that did a collage, flip it over so you don't see where you're cutting, and then you'll be surprised. And I like the 3x6 inch tags basically, so I'm going to cut these, this piece at least, 3, and then we have not quite 11 inches, or not quite 12 inches I mean, so I'm going to cut it at about 5 5/8, and it doesn't matter if they're not exactly even. This part looks longer. I'm going to move it up to 6. We'll just see what happens. Yeah, it's not much taller than that one. So that one ended up with 2 pieces of the blue, even though it was like this. So this would be a narrow pocket. That would be okay. I want to get as many tags out of it as I can. A little closer. They have a little more interest. There's tape. This one does have cellophane right here, but this one has the masking tape and 2 pieces of cellophane and different colors of stamps. So that's fun. And then this, I think I'll cut it at 5 1/4 here to make a tag, pocket, just a little pocket. And then this could be a tag also. So I think I want to put an eyelet in them, either in the corner or in the center top. Don't know if I want to cut the tag shape, you know, the angled corners, or just let it be a square or round the corners. But I don't want to take the time to do the eyelet because my time is limited here on the video. So let's look at things that we can decorate these with. These 2 need something. So I'm going to cut these at an angle to make them more tagged looking. And I'll put an eyelet here. So I have these little price, I don't know what they are, little numbers, and I have Monopoly money. I could use a bit of that to decorate. Maybe right there. What do I do with my other little pieces? Oh, I have them on this tray. I have these little, what are these? Anagrams, letters. I could use images from magazines and books. I could use postage stamps. These are the little seals. Oh, these are German scrap. I think I got these, most of these. I did get some at a rummage sale, but I also got some in Happy Mails from Perio, I think. Did you send me some of those? Well, that would look pretty, wouldn't it? I think we're going to go with that design here, and then it'll have something up here. No, I don't want to use that for that. This is heavier and embossed, so I don't think glue stick would hold it very well. I guess I could have that wrap around a little bit. I think I'll stamp on the back before I add that piece. I'm going to stamp some lines on the back. thought I knew where my large line stamp, or line, yeah, my large line stamp was. Here it is. I didn't remember that I put it in a box. This stamp is not available anywhere. It was especially made for someone who didn't want it, and the maker offered it to me. It wasn't quite right for a person who had commissioned it. So this lovely maker shared it with me. And I like it. I use it. But this one is like a lined notebook paper, and I got that from Stampin' Up. Don't think it's available anymore, but you could look for it on eBay. It is Writing Notes from Stampin' Up. That's kind of cool, the way the scored part didn't stamp because it's raised, but I like the way that looks. Okay, now I can glue this on and wrap it around the edge there. And I will sew, maybe with a dark thread, all the way around the border of the tag. And if I want to, I can sew around the edges of any of the elements that I added. I could sew around this if I wanted to. But I think sewing around the edges of the tag with a dark thread is going to help a lot. Was there something else? Oh yeah, the anagram letter. I'll move that down here. There we go. There's one. Not quite done, but almost. All right, now let's do another one. This one has quite a bit of color already in it. I will probably sew down the edges of this tape because it wants to bubble up there. It's not supposed to be that hard. So I don't need much here, maybe just a label or a post. No, I don't want a postage stamp because it's got a lot of stamps there. But I do have some vintage labels in here. How about merchandise 4th class? That one's torn. It's a possibility. I suppose I could put a number on there that's not vintage, because you know I love numbers. But most things on it would be vintage or flea market purchased. Like the file folder is not vintage, but it's flea market purchased. Got some die cut numbers here. that I cut with my Cricut, my Big Shot. See, that just adds. I think it would be better in black, maybe. I think I had some in different colors. There's a 6 in blue. Got green ones. Maybe I used up all the black ones. I like the green one. I see something black. It's either going to be black or green. It's going to be green, but I'll keep all those numbers out. I'm not really fond of math, but I like numbers. But I think I should sew that tape before I glue these two pieces down. So I will just paper clip these so I remember what goes where. I think that's going to be a fun tag. It would be fun to use handwritten recipes for the background on these. They're really cute. I like them. So that would be fun for a cookbook journal, right? I didn't actually get these at a flea market. I got these from an Etsy seller. Maybe I'll just attach that with a brad. That would be fun. And looks like I didn't put my, oh, my stamps are over here. I'm going to use green because of the green here. There's a little tiny piece of a yellow right there. I didn't want to cover too much of this 1800s paper, but these are just little hash marks. They're not text. So I can cover that. I'm going to go grab a brad. I didn't have my overhead light on all this time. I want to use a larger one because that hole is rather large. This one says number 7 on it. I think I'll just go with this one. And if I felt like whatever I wanted to tuck in the pocket would get in the way of this, or this would get in the way of that, I can just glue a little piece of paper on top of that. That's fun. I know this isn't a tag, so I hope you forgive me for including a pocket in my Tag Tuesday, but it matches the tags. I have these little red bingo markers. That's already glued down good. We'll leave it. Just add that. If I want to sew around the edge of this, I would take that brad out and do that. I probably would like to, except for going around those shapes. So I might just ink it. Ooh, we don't have much time left. I'm going to leave this as it is with that little notch there, and this can be square. But it goes that way. Yeah, I'm still going to leave it. So I'll just round the other corners. I can use postage stamps. I think I would do that on, maybe if I don't put green stamps and blue stamps on here, maybe I could decorate that one with postage stamps. Oh, these are fun. These little index tabs. I could put that at the top. That is a pharmacy label. I don't really like how this ended up pretty much in the center of the tag. It's not quite centered, but it's a little too centered for my taste. So maybe if I add something to the bottom, it'll bring it down to the lower part of the tag more instead of in the center. I think I like that better. Maybe put it off to this side. Hair stuck on that. Whoop. Oh my goodness. Do you have a concussion yet? I'll finish this tag up and then I'll have to go. I will add this tab to it after I sew around the tag, but I might want to put a little something under it. I don't know what, but just a little something up here. I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to leave it there for now. And this is what we've done. We've done these two tags, and they're not quite done because I have to sew and add their eyelets. Oh, I'll put an eyelet on this. Yeah, I'll add this with an eyelet. And that pocket. That's what we've done today. Besides collaging on these two bases and getting a start on this whole sheet full of bases. So that's fun. We got a lot done in 48 minutes. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you're having a creative day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.